And we will begin this morning's meeting. Let's begin by reminding folks that this is a public meeting. This is the general session for December 1st, 2020. It's a public meeting. It's being recorded, so if everybody could please remember that we need to practice decorum as if this was a meeting in public. And if those that are calling in on their cell phones could please remember to mute their phone by dialing *6. That would be very helpful. If not, I'm sure Deputy Administrator Long will be more than happy to remind you of that, or Clerk Hendon Lang, one of the two. And then if we could begin this morning's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Brown.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And justice for all.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We need the approval of the minutes of the November 23rd and 25th administrative briefings.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second and voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Grady?
Yes.
Thank you. The minutes have been approved.
And then if we could begin this morning with the engineer.
Resolution number 843-20, establishing, altering, and widening of Roar Road, County Road number 235 from Lockbourne Road, County Road number 13 to Alum Creek Drive, County Road number 122, Hamilton Township, Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Good morning, Commissioners. As noted, this resolution seeks to declare necessary the improvement of Roar Road from Lockbourne Road to Alum Creek Drive. This project is located in southeast Franklin County in Hamilton Township, the city of Columbus, and the village of Obetz. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no questions, I'll move for passage of 843-20.
Second.
Moved in second and voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Grady?
Yeah.
Resolution number 843-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 844-20. The Franklin County Engineer is authorized to use county forces during 2021 for maintenance and repair projects involving county roads and bridges within limits established by the Ohio Revised Code.
Commissioners, this resolution is an annual resolution seeking authorization to use county forces to maintain and repair roads, bridges, and culverts for the 2021 calendar year. The Ohio Revised Code has established maximum cost estimates of $30,000 per mile for roads and $100,000 per bridge or culvert. Any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I'll move for passage of 844-20.
Second.
Moved in second and voting. Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 844-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 845-20. Resolution authorizing the Franklin County Engineer to renew a contract with MP Dory Company for the 2021 Franklin County Traffic Signal Maintenance Program in the amount of $564,151.
Commissioners, as noted, our final resolution this week seeks to renew the contract with MP Dory Company for the 2021 Franklin County Traffic Signal Maintenance Program in the amount of $564,151. The board approved resolution number 861-19, awarding to MP Dory Company the contract for the 2020 Franklin County Traffic Signal Maintenance Program. This contract allows for a maximum of 2 one-year extensions with the agreement of both the contractor and the county engineer. Both the contractor and the county engineer agreed on the original unit prices, and this is the first renewal of the contract. And pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no questions, I'll move for passage of 845-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 845-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, everybody. Let's move on to the sheriff.
Resolution number 846-20, resolution authorizing a settlement to Adina Webb for a disputed vehicle damage claim due to an auto accident involving a Franklin County Sheriff's deputy in the amount of $4,999.64.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson representing Sheriff Dallas Baldwin. This resolution approves an accident settlement for vehicle damage from an accident that occurred on September 8th of 2020. It's in the amount of $4,999.64 to cover the cost of the vehicle that was totaled in the accident. It's been recommended and by the claims adjuster Riddle, Hill, and Zimmerman, as well as Franklin County Fleet Management and the prosecutor's office. There is a bodily injury claim that will be taken care of at a later date. And pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
I'll move for passage of 846-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 846-20 has been adopted.
All right, so let's now move to Job and Family Services.
Commissioner, I'm sorry, it looks like
There's another resolution here.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Dave.
Resolution number 847-20, resolution authorizing countywide qualifications contracts for fresh produce, fruit, and meat items in the amount of $620,000.
Commissioners, this resolution authorizes a one-year contracts with 8 vendors to supply weekly bids and delivery of fresh produce, and every 5 weeks they will bid out the fresh meat products that are supplied to the Franklin County Correction Centers. Pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
Dave, I have a question. Is this resolution authorizing the qualification or for the actual contracts for the vendors?
Yes, it authorizes the qualifications, and what it does, it allows the vendors that are the produce and fruit providers to offer their weekly prices. Mm-hmm. And then we will pick the lowest and best bidder for the delivery of those products. And then it authorizes the meat providers to offer their 5-week cost for the meat products, and then the lowest and best vendor is selected from that. And this will continue over the next year, and then next year at this time we'll resubmit a qualifications for your approval.
Does that qualifications agreement go out to a wider list of vendors than your current list?
Yeah, it looks like it was sent to 29 vendors that we were believed to be able to handle this type of contract. There were 9 that were received, and 8 were actually deemed to be qualified vendors.
Okay. Any other questions? I'll move for passage of 847-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yeah.
Resolution number 847-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, to the Department of Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 848-20, resolution approving subaward agreements with NAMI Franklin County Incorporated and partners achieving community transformation for youth enrichment programming in the amount of $139,998.87.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Assistant Director. The Franklin County Youth Council was created in 2016. Its mission is to provide youth with leadership training and give them a voice at the table when it comes to creating and implementing public programs and policies that impact their lives. The Youth Council is made up of over 30 high school students who represent Franklin County's diverse communities and constituencies, including those from immigrant communities, LGBTQ, and TANF-eligible youth, as well as those involved in children's services or the juvenile justice system. Council members meet twice a month in addition to volunteering, meeting with local officials, planning youth dialogue, and more. This resolution permits NAMI, which has been a partner since the council's inception, to continue to serve as fiduciary agency for the upcoming contract period. This resolution also provides funding for PAC health sciences programs and co-curriculum experiences for students across 7 different Near East Side Columbus City schools. Through this partnership with The Ohio State University, Columbus State, and Nationwide Children's Hospital, students take part in hands-on, experiential, project-based learning, all within a program curriculum that aligns with the district's health sciences experiences and research opportunities at community-based locations like the Martin Luther King Jr. Public Library and Poindexter Place for K-12 students until Columbus City schools are fully reopened. PAC also partners with COSI to offer in-person experiences, curbside COSI programming for elementary school students, and virtual conferences on organ transplants and forensic psychology for middle and high school students. All participating students receive a COSI Learning Lunchbox with weekly science activities and more. This resolution also supports goal number 11 of the Rise Together Blueprint. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
This is a great program, and I'm glad that we're partnering with NAMI as well. If there are no further comments or questions, I will move approval of 84820.
Commissioner Brown, Commissioner Gray, I did have one comment I want to make.
Yeah.
You know, I agree with you. This is an important piece of legislation because I was thinking about this morning about all of the things that COVID-19 2020 has disrupted. And we haven't even began to reconcile the real impact of these sort of side effects, if you will. We talk about the economy. We talk about many other things that are, sort of in the destruction path of COVID-19. But this piece is one of those core elements that it's really good that we are investing some resources into, because when we look back at this in 2021, if we failed to address this, we'll be dealing with a much deeper challenge to unwind that in 2021, 22. So anyways, I like this kind of thinking, Vivian, and I'd be glad to second the motion by Commissioner Brown.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 848-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 849-20. Resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Ohio Association of Food Banks for the management of work activities as required by the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program Employment and Training Program in the amount of $729,999.99.
Commissioners, in Ohio, able-bodied adults without children, or ABODs, must comply with monthly federal work requirements for the SNAP Employment and Training Program, or SNAP E&T, in order to receive food assistance benefits. Over the past 7 years, our agency has contracted with the Ohio Association of Food Banks to coordinate and manage these allowable work activities under the SNAP program. During the last program period, OAF served over 600 referred customers, connecting them with job readiness training, work placement, and more. They also help with barrier removal or referring customers in need of legal assistance to help prepare them for unsubsidized employment. We are once again proposing to enter into an agreement with OAF to continue the coordination and management of the program, including through virtual work activities in the midst of this pandemic, as well as developing their network of community sponsors work sites over the next year. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, or if there are, please. If there are no comments or questions, I'll move for approval of 84920.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 849-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 850-20, resolution approving subaward agreements with community agencies for Franklin County out-of-school time youth programs in the amount of $583,999.28.
Commissioners, once again, our number one priority for our out-of-school time programming is to ensure a safe, enriching environment for young people, their families, as well as the hundreds of staff members. Instead of the traditional after-school programs, our agency is supporting on-site, full-day youth programming for students enrolled in online classes or hybrid instructional models. These out-of-school time programs, or learning extension centers, provide TANF-eligible youth 5 through 13 a safe place to attend virtual classes while their parents are working or pursuing an education. In addition to providing access to the internet and academic support, they will also incorporate trauma-informed care techniques and social-emotional learning into their programming. These are the final two of the 21 agencies we are funding to provide full-day on-site learning extension centers. Together, the Boys and Girls Club of Columbus and the Community Development for All People will serve approximately 160 students over the course of the 2021 school year. This resolution also supports goal number 11 of the Rise Together Blueprint, and pending any questions, I request your approval.
I'll move approval of 820.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 850-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, commissioners. Have a wonderful day.
You
Thanks, Dave.
too.
On to the sanitary engineer department. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Resolution number 851-20, resolution authorizing a final contract modification with Tribute Contracting and Consultants, LLC, to close out the National Pike Little Farms Neighborhood Water Main Replacement Project, Phase 1, a decrease of $238,094.24 for a revised contract amount of $4,818,526.08.
Again, good morning, Commissioners. I'm Ryan Stowe with the Sanitary Engineer. Via Resolution 588-19, Board of Commissioners contracted with Tribute Contracting and Consultants to perform the Little Farms Phase 1 Water Main Replacement Project. Phase 1 of this project included replacing 17,400 linear feet of water main and reconnecting approximately 346 water services and 36 fire hydrants in this two-part project. Tribute Contracting Consultants has completed the project on a timely manner and to the immense satisfaction of the sanitary engineer. The final cost of the project is less than the contract amount of $5,056,620.32 by $238,094.24. At this time, the sanitary engineer wishes to adjust the final contract value to the actual cost of the project, that being $4,818,526.08 through a contract modification. Pending any questions or comments, I request the passage of this resolution.
If there are no questions or comments, I'll move approval of 851-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 851-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. On to the community partnerships.
Resolution number 852-20, resolution authorizing grant agreements related to the COVID-19 pandemic in the amount of $1,204,077.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dana McCrary, Administrator, Community Partnerships. The resolution that we have before you this morning authorizes additional CARES Act funding to the following organizations. Columbus Urban League for $200,000. That's a contract amendment. Mid-Ohio Food Collective, $500,000. That's a contract amendment as well. And Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Ohio, a contract amendment of $146,018, as well as 2 new contracts with agencies that had not received CARES Act funding, but were selected as being worthwhile organizations during the initial review process. And those organizations are the Columbus Federation of Settlement Houses for $250,000 and Southside Early Learning for $108,059. Pending any questions, I respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
If there are
Carolyn, I think your dog already make the motion.
I know, I think so. She's hearing somebody outside, and she's very favorable to this resolution at the same time. If there are no other comments or questions, I'll move for passage of 852-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 852-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 853-20, resolution authorizing a funding agreement with the Ohio Department of Health to support a tuberculosis detection and treatment program and administer medically approved courses of treatment in the management of individuals diagnosed with tuberculosis.
Commissioners, this resolution will allow us to receive authorize us to receive reimbursement through the Ohio Department of Health to reimburse us in part for the number of tuberculosis cases that were treated here in Franklin County. This year, the reimbursement is $188,000. So pending any questions, I would request the approval of this resolution.
So, I'm sorry.
If there are no questions, I'll move for approval of 853-20.
I just have one question. So have we always used community partnership funds for this? Because I've seen like this isn't seem like the first time for this grant, but have we always used partnership dollars for this?
We're not spending, we're receiving.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yep. Okay.
In
Second.
the past, we've spent money here. As a matter of fact, considerable dollars here on tuberculosis. Dana, and I haven't asked this question, but I didn't ask this in briefing the other day, but I guess my question, and this is as much for the audience as for anybody else, where are we with tuberculosis these days? In the past, we spent a considerable amount of money on tuberculosis based on the number of folks that we've had coming from countries around the world. I'm just curious where we are these days for a number of cases, if you have any idea.
Looking at last year's report of cases, we had 57 cases reported last year, and we have 56 this year. I know that Columbus Public Health did not draw down as much money as they anticipated because early in the pandemic, a number of their staff that would work in the tuberculosis clinic were pulled away to handle other duties. But I think the rate is pretty similar in terms of the number of cases, just because Franklin County continues to be a community that welcomes individuals from around the world.
But if I'm not mistaken, that's a far cry short of where we were 6, 7, 8 years ago, correct?
Yes, we definitely have the largest number of tuberculosis cases in the state of Ohio. Franklin County does.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, we have for some time, Commissioner Boyce, but if I'm not mistaken, 6, 7, 8 years ago, our numbers of tuberculosis cases were considerably higher than they are today. And we used to spend a lot more money as Dana says, that we're receiving money now, but we used to spend, this contract with Columbus Public Health was for considerably more money than it is. I mean, we used to send them, if I'm not mistaken, we used to send them, and the folks from OMB or Administrator Wilson could correct me, but we used to send them a lot of money annually to battle tuberculosis here in Franklin County.
This is historically, Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. This has been historically, when you look over the last 15 years, an area of considerable growth at various points in time. So much so that it rose to a point where county administration and community partnerships had to work with the CDC, and we formed a work group to bring some cost controls and find some efficiencies. And we also collectively contracted a number of years ago with, I believe it was the John Snow Consulting Group.
Yes.
And they gave us a number of recommendations to bring this contract under control. Because as you all know, counties are the payer of last resort for tuberculosis services. And outside of this very small grant, it's pretty much an unfunded mandate that you all as county commissioners fund each year via contract with the Ben Franklin Tuberculosis Clinic.
So, Administrator, I'm glad you brought that up. But so normally, though, when we do fund it, it's general fund dollars, not community partnership dollars. Or am I wrong about that?
It is general fund dollars administered through community partnerships.
Okay.
At one point, it was a line item within the commissioner's budget each year annually under medical consultants, but we brought it under community partnerships a few years thereafter, and that's where it has been for several years.
Okay. Okay.
Right. It's managed and administered through community partnerships.
I'm really glad Commissioner O'Grady brought up those data points about it, because again, this is one of those things that the public don't always see or sort of witness what we're doing to try to address that. And these numbers are real. And I'm not even sure I was aware of that until Commissioner O'Grady just put it out there. I mean, I could see it in the resolution here, but
this has been with us for a very long time. We've been looking at the budget for a very long time and trying to find ways to address the issue and still keep it fiscally responsible. But it is an unfunded mandate that we have.
Yeah, Commissioner Boyce, when I first became a commissioner, I was shocked that we were dealing with, at the time in 2009, that we were dealing with, tuberculosis. I thought this was something that, the medical community had long since dealt with. My grandmother died of consumption or tuberculosis in the 1940s. I thought this was something that had, that had been, eradicated, and it had been for the largest, for all intents and purposes in the United States, but it hadn't been in countries across the world. And so as the United States had to deal with it based on the fact that we had so many people coming from other countries, and as Columbus, as a new community over the last 20, 30 years with immigrants coming from around the world, this is something that we've had to deal with as Administrator Wilson has said, for the last 15, 20 years that we've had to deal with here in Franklin County. And I was completely unaware, so I'm certain that the remainder of the general public's unaware, because I was only made aware of it as a new county commissioner.
Commissioner O'Grady, I would add, just piggybacking on what Administrator Wilson said, the John Snow study did identify a number of efficiencies which Columbus Public Health did adopt. One of the ones that has been particularly useful in recent years is the use of the eMocha. It is a HIPAA compliant, secure app where tuberculosis patients make a video of themselves taking their medication so that they can be directly observed in doing it. And this allows Columbus Public Health staff to seat a person administering their medication without incurring all of that mileage going back and forth. Now, of course, this app cannot be used in every case. Not every single person is familiar or comfortable with a lot of money in terms of mileage and staffing hours to be able to look at those videos.
Gotcha.
Yeah, typically, this is a medical service that, due to the way the mandate is set, you are using general fund dollars. There's been efforts to try to, through partnerships, level greater use of Medicaid funding, for example, to try to reduce this amount. But like you said, commissioners, people wouldn't naturally know that this is a $2.1 million expenditure that you all approve from the general fund to ensure that these services are met as far as it relates to treatment and prevention and screening.
There are no other questions. I would respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
Commissioner Boyce and Commissioner O'Grady, it looks like Commissioner Brown lost her connection, has been kicked out. I know that she had moved to the resolution, but Commissioner Boyce, if you could.
Did she make a motion?
She did.
She did. Okay. No problem. Second.
So it has been moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 853-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
So that is the second. Of the community partnership resolutions. So we are now on to the Justice Policy and Programs Department.
Resolution number 854-20. Resolution authorizing receipt fiscal year 2020 comprehensive opioid stimulant and substance abuse program grant award from the Bureau of Justice Assistance to support a combination of approaches intended to reduce overdose-related deaths.
Good morning, Commissioners. Melissa Pearson on behalf of the Office of Justice Policy and Programs. Commissioners, as you are all too well aware, the state of Ohio and Franklin County specifically continues to experience really unacceptable rates of opioid-related overdose deaths, with rates in calendar year 2020 continuing to exceed the number of deaths in calendar year 2019. The Office of Justice Policy and Programs wrote for and has been awarded a comprehensive opioid stimulant and substance abuse grant in the amount of $1.2 million to support continuation of our nationally recognized pathways programs for both male and females, justice-involved individuals, screened as at risk for an overdose, and launching of the Rapid Resource Center, which will provide quick treatment linkage, including medication-assisted treatment, along with other supportive services to those just released from the Franklin County Correctional Facility located on Jackson Pike. Pending any questions, I request your approval to accept this award.
Is she back?
She is not back, Commissioner.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 854-20.
The joys of internet.
All right.
Welcome back.
Kevin,
No, do what you've done and I'll catch up.
Just moved for passage of 854-20, so you can second. I think she's frozen again.
I believe so. Commissioner O'Grady.
I'll second that then.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 854-20 has been adopted with Commissioner Brown's noted absence. Hopefully we can get her back.
Thanks, Commissioners.
Thank you.
All right. Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 855-20. Resolution authorizing a contract agreement with High Concrete Group, LLC to perform precast concrete activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Correction Center Continuation Phase 2A in the amount of $2,512,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. On this snowy day, Darla Reardon, Director, Public Facilities Management. Also joining me today is PFM COO Vivian Alexander. Today we have for approval the first of the contract awards for bid packages associated with construction of continuation phase 2A of the new Franklin County Correction Center. It will continue into 2021, and over the coming months, we anticipate bringing about 20 prime contract agreements before the board for consideration. The established aspirational goal of 12% for the new correction center will continue to apply for this next phase. Also, consistent with the initial phase is that Dr. Bill Lafayette, owner of Regionomics LLC, will be providing a summary of the economic impact study that he will conduct for each of the contracts for this continuation phase 2A. Dr. Lafayette is unavailable until the new year, but then will provide summaries for the contracts before you today and continuing thereafter. The first resolution authorizes a contract agreement with High Concrete Group LLC to perform precast concrete activities, such as providing and installing all precast concrete panels, joint sealants, caulking, etc. 2 bids were received, and High Concrete was the low bidder. High Concrete is located in Springboro, Ohio, which is where the precast concrete panels will be manufactured. High Concrete is signatory to the Ironworkers Local 172, Operating Engineers Local 18, and Bricklayers Local 55 in Columbus. 12 jobs are anticipated to be created as part of this contract at peak. There is no diversity participation indicated on the SCBE utilization plan. However, it is important to know that precast is a known area of construction work with historically very low or zero participation given its highly specialized nature, including panel transportation. Also, the precast product is produced entirely in-house in Ohio. This is consistent with the initial phase. However, the project team will continue to work diligently to identify potential SCBE opportunities to increase participation for this contract if possible. High Concrete has demonstrated it has the capacity, experience, and ability to complete the required work. The project owner's representative, Pizzuti Solutions, and the project construction manager, Gilbane Smoot, are both supportive of this contract award. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this action. Thank you.
Before I move for adoption, because I don't see Commissioner Brown back on, I will just say that,
Commissioner Brown got a phone call from her mother, so she was taking that.
Okay. Man, you made me forget my question there.
Sorry.
It's okay. I think I was going to say, given the performance with regards to SCBE and some other small business support, maybe you can talk about, you don't have to do it right now, Darla or Director Reardon, but I do want to understand the full context update of where we are with utilization on the entire thing. So I think when we have these kind of contracts, I think it's important for the public to hear, though, the efforts we're making on the broader project, in the work we've done on the broader project. We may not be able to, in every aspect of contracts like this, sometimes it just doesn't work out. But we need to emphasize that this is something, I take some pride in what we've been able to do through this project in terms of utilization. And I just never want that to be overlooked, rather, because we can't find, small business vendors or minority vendors, whatever. And so I just maybe we have those just to be inclusive of how we're performing overall, I think is helpful.
Sure, Commissioner Boyce. And actually I can update the group now if that's okay.
That'd be great.
As of October 31st, the most current SCBE participation is 24.59%. And again, the established aspirational goal in the initial phase, which is continuing into this next phase 2A, is 12%, so 24.59%. And that equates to 48.92 million of about 199 million total contracts awarded to date. So as we award these contracts, to your point, Commissioner, we will continue to update that number, and we can certainly include that. It's updated monthly by the construction team, and we receive reports of that. So we can certainly include that moving forward as through now into February, we're bringing these about 20 contracts forward.
Great. Thanks, Director Reardon. And I appreciate you being prepared just to talk about that. It really speaks to your own sort of focus in terms of what's important to you and being ready to talk about that. So thank you. Administrator Wilson, I know we've got a meeting later today. I've been asking for these numbers overall in terms of, I think we should do a self-analysis on just how we've done. I think this is incredible work. And I think it's important, talk about, at the end of the day, these are the public's resources. And when there's criticism or praise about what each entity of government is doing with regards to inclusion, I just want to make sure you have the facts. If we had 5%, I'd want the public to have facts. But we got 24%, so I want them to have the facts. And so either way, I think these are things that I'd like us to sort of wear more on our sleeve, because it's a good measuring stick for all the work we've been doing. And I think it's something that with whether it's the NAACP, the Urban League, or everyday constituents, they need to know how we're performing, whether it's good or bad. And I think here's an idea. I was talking to somebody about this at NACO recently, and I said I got to check the numbers on the jail, but I know we're performing well, and I know we've been very conscientious about our efforts there, and I think it's just something to be talked about. So, I'll give one last praise, and that's to Director Reardon. If there were ability to hand out gold stars, I don't know where this stacks up in terms of the rest of the county, and that's what I'd like to know. But I think it would stack up pretty good in terms of performance, and it should become the benchmark, if you will, of what we can do if we make the effort. And so. But I think I'd like to see a better analysis. I'm sure it's good work, but it's important that we and I'm sure Commissioner O'Grady and Commissioner Brown see this similar to me in terms of how important this work is.
And Commissioner Boyce, I just want to say I appreciate the praise, but it definitely is a collaborative team effort. It's been the diligence of the entire construction team. Our owner's rep, Pizzuti Solutions, Gilbane Smoot, our purchasing department, especially want to make sure I recognize Marlise Wicker and her efforts in organizing outreach events. So it really is a whole collaborative effort. So I just would want to make sure the whole team is recognized. But yes, with over 30 contracts to date, we're pleased, but the work continues. Certainly, we've got another 20 contracts to go. So.
Great, thank you.
This is Kenneth Wilson, Administrator. I concur, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Brown. There's some gold stars to be passed out, because where we stand right now is at a historical peak. Mm-hmm. But county administration is focused in PFM and all the partners that Director Reardon mentioned, that running through the tape. And when we talk about running through the tape on this project, we're looking at how we continue to do this well through 2023 when we finish phase 2A. I have every confidence that the team we have assembled, we will only get more focused as we go along and be able to maintain this aspirational level, which is double what we said at the beginning of this project, which is really amazing. But I also don't want it to be lost that not only do we look at the amount of contracts that go to SBEs, minority corporate, from a contracting standpoint, but through your guidance, what set this apart is we also have been focused on workforce participation, mm-hmm. meaning individuals from Franklin County, from low-income zip codes. That's another something that separates this work from the way it was approached maybe in the past. And our SBE coordinator, Marlise Wicker, is all on top of the LC tracker and reporting that information to the construction inclusion team. So I just want to also, credit that portion of it too. So it's community economic benefit on two levels. It's our contracting partners and the diversity there, and also the focus on the diversity of individuals on the work site. In the forensic center, which is complete, was also well done. Came a little bit under the level we at right now on a correctional facility, but it was that set a new high for the county. So thank you.
So to follow up on both Commissioner Boyce and Administrator Wilson's comments, seems like we've been working on these projects, the Forensic Science Center and the Corrections Center, for a long time, and we have been actually. We've been talking about or planning for the Corrections Center since I was running for County Commissioner the very first time, I think. But this construction inclusion work and the numbers and the aspirational goals that we've set and then exceeded. This is all fantastic stuff, and certainly there are plenty of praise and accolades to be passed around. But at the same time, the real measure, I think, is going to be once this work's done, once this correction center is finished, and we move on to the next projects. Because truth be told, we've been building. Nobody told me when I ran for county commissioner that I was going to be in the construction business. And we've been building things since I became a county commissioner. When I became a county commissioner in the spring of 2009, we opened the baseball park, and then we opened the animal shelter, and then we opened the courthouse. Then we've just done one construction project after another. And so when we're finished with the correction center, we've done courthouses, we've done reconstruction projects, we've done the Board of Elections, we've done the JFS building. We're just going to continue to have construction projects because we have a huge campus and a huge facilities need. And so the proof is going to be, and the measure is going to be, once we move on to the next project and the continuous projects that we have after this. Do we then continue to have the same aspirational goals? Do we then continue to meet those goals? Do we then continue to have the same output? Do we then continue to be, as strong in this area as we are today? Because we need to be that. We need to set that example. We need to be. We need to continue to be what we purport ourselves to be today. We need to continue to be a leader in this area. We need to be the gold standard by which other counties measure themselves. Because if we're not, then who will be? If Franklin County's not the gold standard on construction inclusion, then who will be? We've set ourselves out there. We've made ourselves, that gold standard. So, and if we don't continue to be the leader in this, then who's going to continue? Then who's going to chase us? Who's going to try to be us? Who's going to do the right thing? We've shown ourselves to be the ones that are doing the right thing in this area, and we need to continue to do that.
If I could just add, Commissioner Grady, you made me think of something. I don't want to belabor this too much more, but I think the next phase of evolution in this work is to then take some of the those small businesses that were subs and begin to let them elevate in the process. Go from being a sub to the main. Executor, whatever the right terminology is of the contract, and I hope
prime contractor.
Thank you, and I hope that through this process, Director Reardon, we are evaluating the performance of those subs to see if they are capable of delivering, because that's how we get the real growth area in this conversation, is when these small businesses can go, or underutilized businesses can go from being subs to leading, as you said, prime, to being primes on the next project. And that's when we have the real evolution, investing in inclusion and diversity in this in procurement and this work. So so I love that. I hope Earl I hope Earl's still on and listening to this, because it's a great story. At least it's something to talk about. And what I like most about this, Darla, is that when this contract was on, you didn't run away from the fact that there wasn't some inclusivity on this contract. You identified it and talked about it, and that speaks to the culture of Franklin County. To when we're not running away when we're not able to perform, but we are looking at it ourselves to say, there was this is why it happened. You were able to identify why we didn't have any inclusiveness on this contract, and talk about the specialized nature of it. And I think that's a fundamental principle in how we deliver our service and resource. So I'm really pleased with this entire conversation, because Administrator Wilson too, because I just think that we have our value set there. The resolution that we passed a couple of weeks ago around racial equity. I mean, it really is becoming a part of our core system and how we operate. And I'm so proud of the work that has been done here, your leadership, Administrator Wilson, and certainly Darla's team, Vivian, and others. I think we're zeroed in on it and we're making progress. But I do want to see the full picture of Franklin County's performance. And if there are agencies, particularly under the BOC, obviously, that are not doing it, then we need to look at that and try to figure out how we can improve it. And then the agencies that don't fall under BOC, while we can't, tell them what, we can't direct them necessarily, we can sort of share our data with them to say, if the will is there, it can be done, and here's how we can help you. And so, anyways, enough of that. I'm totally okay with this resolution, because the performance overall on this has been, I would grade as an A based on the data that I've been given. So.
And Commissioner Boyce, I would just say, we tried to provide consistent information as we did in the initial phase, and our intention is to make sure for each of these about 20 coming forward that, we really share all the details of this. And as you've indicated, sometimes it'll be 12 or above like we're hoping for. And when it's not, we'll make sure we clearly communicate that and show that really, it was vetted, that there was a good faith effort, and we understand why it was not achievable. But again, at this time, even what is submitted is what's anticipated. So, equally important, if not more important, is how the group continues to monitor this over time, which, as this group, I believe, knows, the construction and inclusion team, as we meet, it's reported to those actuals. So we're really monitoring actuals closely and making sure that these contractors continue to live up to this initial percentage. And ideally, as we continue to work with them, it may even increase over time, but making sure the subs are getting paid, the SEBEs, the contracts are awarded. And so how you finish being more important almost than what you're saying here at the beginning. So I just want to say, even when you see a 0, it could finish higher, but we don't take for granted when someone says 20%. That's going to continue to be monitored on a monthly basis through the life of the contract, and really focused on actual performance.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Boyce,
sorry.
I just wanted to make sure that you understood. Commissioner Brown will not be joining us until executive session. So if you could take over, I'd appreciate it, sir.
Sure. No problem. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 855-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 855-20 adopted. Resolution number 856-20, resolution authorizing a contract agreement with George J. Eigel & Company Incorporated to perform concrete foundations and structure activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Corrections Center continuation Phase 2A in the amount of $10,114,300.
Good morning, Commissioners. How is everyone? Vivian Alexander, Chief Operating Officer. This second resolution authorizes a contract agreement to George J. Eigel & Company Incorporated to perform concrete foundations and structure Activities such as footers, foundations, concrete slabs, stair and elevator shafts, etc., associated with the continuation phase 2A of the new correction center. 3 bids were received, and IGO was a low bidder. IGO is a local firm, and 40 jobs are anticipated to be created as part of this contract at peak. IGO is signatory to Carpenters Local 200, Laborers Local 423, Operating Engineers Local 18, Iron Workers Local 172, Bricklayers Local 55, and Plasterers and Cement Masons Local 132. They have committed to 17.8%, approximately 1.8 million, diversity participation from 2 firms on its SCBE utilization plan. IGO has demonstrated it has a capacity, experience, and ability to complete the required work. The project owner's representative and the project construction manager are supportive of this contract. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 856-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 856-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 857-20, resolution authorizing a contract agreement with Ohio Steel Industries Incorporated to perform structural steel activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Correction Center continuation phase 2A in the amount of $1,425,000.
This third resolution authorizes a contract agreement with Ohio Steel Industries Incorporated to perform structural steel activities such as metal floor and roof deck, roof framing, support beams, support steel, beams, joists, etc., associated with the continuation phase 2A of the new correction center. 2 bids were received, and Ohio Steel is a lower bidder. Ohio Steel is located in Pataskala, Ohio, and is signatory to Iron Workers Local 172 and Operating Engineers Local 18 in Columbus. 15 jobs are anticipated to be created as part of this contract at peak. There is no diversity participation indicated on the SCBE utilization plan. This is consistent with the initial phase. However, the project team will continue to work diligently with the contractor to identify potential SCBE opportunities to increase participation for this contract if possible. Ohio Steel has demonstrated it has the capacity, experience, and ability to complete the required work. The project owner's representative and the project construction manager are supportive of this contract. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 857-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 857-20 has been adopted.
Thank you,
Thank you so
commissioners.
much.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Take care, you guys.
You too.
All right, now to Human Resources.
Resolution number 858-20, resolution authorizing an independent contractor agreement with Alexandria Rahal for communication services for the Franklin County Cooperative Health Improvement Program in the amount of $4,550.
Good morning, commissioners.
Good
Jody
morning,
Lees, Assistant Director of HR. This resolution authorizes an independent contractor agreement with Alexandria Rahal. It also authorizes County Administrator Ken Wilson to sign on behalf of the board. The agreement allows Ms. Rahal to provide print and electronic communication services and support to the Benefits and Wellness Department. Ms. Rahal will be compensated $175 per week for up to 6 months. And her primary responsibilities will be to create and distribute the weekly Thrive on Thursday e-newsletter, as well as to manage the Benefits and Wellness website, bewell.franklincountyohio.gov. So pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 858-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 858-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Jody.
Jody.
Purchasing.
Resolution number 859-20, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $2,651,845.82.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Valanier, Director of Purchasing. Today, we are presenting to you our final PO resolution of 2020. The resolution requests your approval of 173 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. This week, 21 out of 32 eligible POs totaling $267,880 are being presented for award to 9 women business enterprises, 7 minority business enterprises, and 5 small and emerging business enterprises. This represents 66% of the eligible PO volume and 81% of the eligible PO dollar value. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
Thank you, Director. I do have one question. What's the, and this may be for Administrator Wilson, actually, but what's the, there's a line item in the breakout for bond counsel for Frost Brown Todd. What is that? What are those services? Is that for a specific transaction? What are they working on right now?
I don't believe, Administrator Wilson, if you'd like to speak to that, that might be more of a general.
Yeah, I think it's probably more for Administrator Wilson.
Yeah.
This Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator, is for services rendered associated with primarily work around the Confluence Park Community Authority.
Mm-hmm.
In some of the,
but the debt that debt has already been issued, though, right?
Right, but there's periodic questions that come up around the development agreement, for example. We spent some time with clarifications on, and they staff the community authority as well, provide staff services.
Oh, so they're billing us basically to staff this, so that's why it's so high.
But for staffing expenses, for periodic questions around disclosures related to bond agreements, also some services associated with Huntington Park and some of the disclosures that have been required of the county as it relates to COVID-19 and some of the financial effects, i.e. Reduced sales tax receipts.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the disclosure agreements associated with that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's very helpful. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of Resolution 859-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 859-20 has been adopted.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And on to the Board of County Commissioners.
Resolution number 860-20, resolution authorizing a supplemental appropriation in the Network Infrastructure Fund for the purchase of document storage and retrieval equipment.
Good morning, Commissioners. Juan Torres, CIO, representing the Board of Commissioners. With me today, I have Adam Frumpkin, CIO for the Franklin County Data Center, and also Julie Lust, Director of Financial Services for Data Center. This resolution authorizes a supplemental appropriation in the Network Infrastructure Fund. This fund was created in 2013 for the purchase and installation of hardware to support network redundancy and reliability initiatives. The requested funds will be utilized for procurement implementation of an industry top-rated storage solution, replace equipment that has reached end of life, and also reduce technical debt and operational costs by reducing storage manufacturers from 5 to 2. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 860-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 860-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 861-20. Resolution appointing Yavez M. Ellis and John Neal Lindsay to the Franklin County Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Services Board.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eric Janis, Deputy Administrator. Pending any questions, would recommend approval of these two new appointments to the Adam Board.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 861-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 861-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 862-20. Resolution appointing members to the Greater Columbus Arts Council Board of Trustees.
Commissioners, as you are aware, the Greater Columbus Arts Council has invited the Board of County Commissioners to make 3 appointments to the GCAC Board. These 3 new appointments of Jamie Staley, Lee Goldsmith, and Jim Negron will commence January 1st and be for a period of 3 years. Pending any questions, would recommend approval.
I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I want to just making sure there's no conflicts for me. I didn't see the one name, and I don't remember seeing the one name, so I'm just looking. Sorry. Of course. Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 862-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 862-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
And it looks as if, Commissioner Brown, are you there? Okay. Resolution number 863-20. Resolution of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners to convene into executive session to confer with the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office concerning pending or imminent litigation.
So move.
Second. Well, I'm sorry. Does somebody need to actually read that? Commissioner Boyce, I think you may actually need to read that language.
Oh, I do. What am I? All I have is the resolution in front of me. What do I have to read?
Hello, Commissioner. Chris Long, Deputy Administrator. The language is to move into executive session to confer with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject of pending or imminent court action. With me having just said that, as long as you so move, that will be sufficient to cover our bases. Okay. Don't you love attorney, Commissioner?
Yeah, I do. You know I do.
Fantastic.
You know I do. So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 863-20 has been adopted. We are now in executive session. And for those individuals moving into executive session, stay on the line and we will move you over into the executive session room. For those that wish to wait, you're more than welcome to stay in this main room. And when the commissioners come out of executive session, they will return. Otherwise, if you can give me just a few moments, I'll get folks moved over.